So for my professional development segment today, something that's really near and dear to my heart. It's just, really besides just partnering with leaders, helping their business scale, is really, what impacted me during COVID and like a lot of others is seeing how many businesses lack resilience, and emotional intelligence to adapt during those challenging times. And a lot of those doors, close permanently or open under new ownership. I believe that some of that stuff could have been prevented, right? So what I want to highlight in the professional development segment today is the importance of having that, building that resilience in your business, having that emotional intelligence, so you can, navigate these challenging times in this new modern landscape. I want to share 5 key points and areas of focus that I think that, as a leader, you should focus on and put effort into. Whether you're leading a large team or just a solopreneur, these things will just put you in a better spot and just reduce the risk to your business, in these challenging times. We just seen some data recently showing that, a lot of investors are not going to be making big investments or cutting any checks until 2024. And if they are, they're going to be, maybe making a light commitment and seeing how people perform over 2 or 3 months runway, which is forcing and challenging founders to be more innovative, to be more resourceful, and also focus on profitability in industries and spaces that they hadn't before, or leveraging technologies like AI and things that we have available now to produce meaningful outcomes with those resources. So I just want to go over these 5 key points that I think are going to be, important when it comes to building resilience and emotional intelligence in your business. The first point is understanding resilience, right? I think resilience is looking at your business and seeing the risks, adaptability, how you manage your culture. And I think there are some characteristics of those type of resilient leaders, right? Such as adaptability, right? Their optimism, and then also how they bounce back from setbacks because of the mindset and the approach they're taking and how they're looking at their business. They're always assessing the health of the business, and they also have other things in place, such as a focus on fostering growth, right? Managing stress, inspiring their team. They're looking at a holistic approach to as they scale and grow their business, not just the bottom line. And that's why I say building resilience and emotional intelligence kind of go hand in hand. If you're always just looking at risk and just trying to solve problems by not looking at the emotional intelligence piece, which is the human component, I think you're going to have a challenge doing something that I felt has helped me in my career, which comes to blending those digital and human capabilities together and helping people understand why they might have to learn more, take on more training, change how things are done. But when you do it this way, it makes you more adaptable, but also puts you in a position where you can serve others as well. And the other point I want to mention is, really developing that emotional intelligence, right? I think emotional intelligence to me is the impact the impact on effective leadership. So I think the important thing is I think the components of a leader that has really good emotional intelligence is their self-awareness, their motivation, their empathy, and also their social skills. The individuals are able to inspire, move their team, get people to rally through tough times, get people to do things they want them to do and need them to do when they're not around, right? I think that's the difference between a leader that's effective and a leader that is efficient. I think it's the effective leader has that support at all times, right? And people feel like they can come to him and they're not just trying to knock off the KPIs, clock out as soon as the work's done. They're looking and sharing ideas and things to help the organization thrive, not just survive. And I guess, when I think about some of those strategies that people should put in place when they're trying to develop this emotional intelligence, really is such as, I guess, have a mindfulness of the practices that are happening in your organization, be an active listener. And I also would say seek feedback, invite people to be a part of that conversation. Like I always tell leaders in general, if you're a solopreneur or someone else, talk about what's really going on. Don't just say, I'm doing well, be faking it, hoping you're going to make it. Have conversations with a trusted group, a trusted community, so people can be aware of your current situation. And some of that feedback, some of those conversations, they may not know the impact that it's having on you, but you'll have that extra insight, and then you could be able to take out to your organization. And don't forget, you're selling to customers who are human. So developing that emotional intelligence helps even outside the business when you're having those conversations. And I say the third point, cultivating a growth mindset, right? I think it's important to have a growth mindset And then emotional intelligence when it comes to, scaling your business. I think a leader, how I look at it is a leader that doesn't have a growth mindset has a fixed mindset. That means when things outside of what they want to have to happen in the business, what they're focused on, can have even a more dramatic impact on their business because they're not able to pivot. They're just like tunnel vision on this. They're not listening and being aware of all the signs, all the things that happen. And sometimes they can bulldoze through, right? And they may be successful, but the collateral damage is still there. You can still see that, hey, was this really the best approach? Whereas a person with a growth mindset is always looking for ways to adapt, be innovative, how it affects the corporate objectives and the business objectives, how people are, responding to the changes and then sharing that information and bringing that resilience and that emotional EQ and that all that together. I think like the growth mindset leader is the resilient leader, right? Is the one that has that emotional intelligence together, and the ones that tend to have success and be celebrating with the team. And there's less collateral damage, right? They're trying to prevent that. It's impossible to avoid all of that, which means like maybe a loss of jobs or just negative impacts on the business. And if it was outside of their control and people seen it coming or part of the journey. So in the long run, it's going to help their company, right? And I encourage people to really adopt the growth mindset, right? By embracing challenges, learning from failures, and seeking continuous improvement on yourself and others that you're mentoring and trying to develop, right? And if you're going to more like, I said, growth mindset leader, you're going to be excited that they're trying to invest in you, that they're keeping you, part of the big picture, that they're, and if you're an investor, that they're actually actively figuring out what's happening in the market, that they're actively, keeping you in the loop and doing everything they can to pivot, to stay innovative, to use these technologies to produce the right incomes to keep the business going, right? Because, as a leader, all of us know, even if it's just one of us, how much is on our plate, right? And I think that goes into the point number 4 is managing stress and building that resilience, right? Obviously, as a business leader, we face a lot of stress, right? That can impact our performance and even our well-being, our health, right? You can look at Steve Jobs. I'm not saying he got cancer because of stress, but I'm sure that all the things he was doing didn't play a positive impact on that. And not having that balance definitely impacted him. But you can see countless leaders, and even maybe in your own life, where stress can physically impact your well-being, your relationships, and it just become a huge challenge. But I think there's different techniques to manage that stress, right? Such as just participating in self-care. Golfing, that's self-care. That's something you got to do for yourself. Setting boundaries. Like my phone doesn't just ring. Like I will say, like, my clients don't just call me unless it's about business or some personal, or they know exactly what our relationship is. I'm not getting blown up. I mean, you probably think I don't even have friends or clients with how much my phone doesn't ring, but I am very responsive through emails, right? Less than 24 hours. But we have healthy boundaries, but I still will reach out to my clients and take them to dinners and interact with them, saying, hey, I want to get to know you as a person. I want to connect with you and show you how our business and how I want to, basically make sure that I'm providing the best solutions, but also experience for you and understand outside your business, like, why are you doing all this, right? But also who are you supporting, and the kind of person you are. So I can help my clients, see if what they're doing in their business is what they want to be doing and how they expect it to be. And also is their team seeing that stuff they're doing for them. That's a big part in making sure your growth strategies and things work out. But I think that's a very important part of it. And I want to offer some tips for building resilience, such as cultivating a support network. That's how I kind of look at this community here. The LetsScale, like this community people, the groups I'm a part of, is like, that support network is so important. Not every network, and most networks, honestly, the most important ones aren't about just deal flow. It's about having the right people to talk to, getting insight, getting information, and being able to just help get support along the way. Like, the journey is the most important part of that. And also, you're going to run into challenges, and with the right minds and the right people in your community, it will definitely give you the opportunity to maybe, and especially if they trust you, and you're coming as this growth leader, and they know you want to innovate, they know they share things with you. Oh, this guy's going to do something about it. He's going to do something with this. Let me try and help him out. I think that's, but you need to be in those rooms. Like, in your house by yourself, you're not going to come up with the best solutions. You may come up with some okay solutions, on your own, but it may be some collateral damage or things that someone could have shared that didn't have to happen. And the greatest things in this world don't happen with one person. Nothing does ever that I can ever think of. It takes community, and also doesn't take the whole world adopting it. It's usually like 2 to 5 people getting some people to adopt and move forward with something that has a huge impact. I think maintain a positive mindset, right? And then framing challenges as opportunities. I think that's very important because the disruptors, the most successful people, they find ways to solve these problems. And that's how you see in COVID, some of these businesses were collaborating with their rivals because they found a way to navigate and leverage these resources, and they started keeping their competitors in business because that was best for the market. So that's just something I would encourage you guys to think about. And I guess last but not least, the 5th point is lead with enthusiasm, empathy, and emotional intelligence. Throughout my career, something that I did not focus on, have enough of, was empathy, right? I was really focused on success, driving goals, and I was a good person. People enjoyed working with me, but there's a lot of conversations I should have had that I didn't have because I couldn't see at the time, had that fixed leadership mindset, like how they fit into the big picture or these goals I need to accomplish, right? Whereas that person that I should have made time for, listened to, may have known the person that I needed to speak to, right? Not saying that, but the whole point, or the insight or their experience, or something I could have got from that conversation, having that empathy and making that time, not focus on just doing, but taking time to connect with people and individuals, I think is important. So you can get some of that insight you need sometimes. I think that's that empathy right there. And I guess really the benefits of an empathetic leader, is it really increases employee engagement, contractor engagement, your community engagement with you in general, because you're building trust, and you have that collaborative mindset. So I think that's a really, really important thing to focus on. Is empathy. I think by definition, just really just creating that space. The ways to demonstrate empathy, I guess, are really just such as just being an active listener, and the active listening really plays into everything I'm saying, right? Because for you to be able to build resilience and have that, that emotional intelligence, you have to be listening to get the information. And people love speaking and sharing things about themselves. And your hardest workers, sometimes they will just be working with something that is inefficient for a long period of time because they want to get the job done. But when you're listening and you're looking, we're pulling information, you want to grow, you want to scale, you want to fill and close these gaps. I think the active listener plays a huge part in that. Recognizing and validating emotions. I think for me, it's okay to be, I had a problem as a man, emotions to me were oh, it was a weakness or things were going to set me back. But someone who doesn't have emotions can't be trusted. When someone said it to me, I was like, oh, well, I do have emotions. I just thought that, that was getting in the way. No, but it helped me see what is causing me stress. Those are things I need to focus on. Those are challenges I need to address. Or else it's a place I need to go sometime and just for a little bit, and then get out of there and then start working on the solutions so I can really provide the support, and let people know I understand where they're coming from. So those are really those 5 key points that I think play a key part in, building resilience in your business, and having that, really developing that emotional IQ to really be that growth mindset leader. And right now, unfortunately, a lot of businesses aren't going to make it to 2024, and more than usual because of the landscape, because of, people needing to have to pivot so fast, the lack of interconnectedness we have. And my goal and mission is to serve as many of those businesses as I can. Ideal clients, and also, have enough ideal clients so I can give opportunities to ones who can't use it for our services. So it's coming up on the last few seconds of my 15 minutes, but this is just something that's really important to me, man, because I want you guys to all really build that resilience in your business. I want you guys to all thrive, not just survive. And, it's a pleasure to be a part of this group. So thank you guys for your time. And that's pretty much it.